Hello friends and welcome to my channel Iballdesigningdeveloper. So welcome to the world of Microsoft Azure. Today we are diving into Azure storage within Azure Cloud Shell, a powerful combo that makes cloud development faster and easier. Azure Cloud Shell gives you a ready to use command line environment right from your browser, so no setup needed, and when it comes to storage, it automatically connects to an Azure storage account, giving you persistent access to your files, scripts, and project data across all your sessions. So whether you are managing VMs, deploying apps, or writing automation scripts, your data is safe, fast, and always available in the cloud. It's like having your toolbox and workspace in one place, accessible anywhere, anytime. So let's unlock the full potential of cloud with Azure storage plus Cloud Shell. Your productivity just went sky high. So I hope you will be understanding this amazing video in which I will be telling you how you can use storage in Azure Cloud Shell. So if you understand this amazing video, so remember to hit a like, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like this, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing, hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my videos which I will be uploading in future. So now what we are waiting for, let's move to computer screen and let's dive into it. Alright, so now we're on the computer screen, and like I've told you in the start that today in this video I will be telling you that how you can just use storage in Azure Cloud Shell. So in the previous video we have understand how we can create a storage account when we are working with Microsoft Azure, and I hope you understand that video. So if you haven't checked that video, first of all you need to understand how we can create a storage account in Microsoft Azure. So you can just check that video out first, and then you can move on to this video in which I will be telling you how you can just use storage in Azure Cloud Shell, or what is Azure Cloud Shell. All the things in this video I'll be explaining you, but for that you need to understand what is Microsoft Azure storage account and how we create it. So if you haven't checked that video, you can check my previous video in which I have told you everything about a storage account and how you can create it, what's the purpose to create it, or what the things are really important to create that. So you can check that video in which you will be understanding each and everything. So moving on, how we can use storage in Azure Cloud Shell. In this article we will look into what really goes on underneath the covers as we demystify storage in Azure Cloud Shell. The first time that you interact with the Azure Cloud Shell, it will ask you to create an Azure storage account. It's going to use the storage account to persist any keys or any scripts that you might need whenever you are interacting with your resources. When you choose the basic settings and select only a single subscription, Cloud Shell will create 3 resources on your behalf, and in the supported region that's nearest to you. So in resource group you will be getting Cloud Shell storage and the region, and after that you will be getting your storage account which is called as CS unique grid, and then you can just share your file, and you need to share your file with your Cloud Shell so that you can use the Cloud Shell in your storage account. But remember one thing, before using Azure Cloud Shell you need to create your storage account, as I have told you in the previous video how you can create it. But in this video as well I will be telling you some things that how you can create a storage account. Like here this is one diagram when you will be creating your storage account, and when you will be moving on to its manage thing, or you can say manage in the settings. So you will be getting this type of thing which will say you don't have any storage mounted, because obviously you have created your new storage account, so you haven't stored any data, or you haven't made any data app or anything like that. So that's the reason you don't have any storage mounted here. And Azure Cloud Shell requires an Azure file to share to persist files, and this will create a new storage account for you, and this will incur a small monthly cost. So you need to pay for this storage account as well if you are using it with Cloud Shell here. And obviously we need to use it with Cloud Shell because if we need to save our data, if we need to make our data more readable for our users, so for that we need to use this Azure Cloud Shell, and that's the reason we need to just incur a small monthly cost for that. And Azure Cloud Shell also requires an Azure file, so you need to share your Azure file as well so that you can persist your other files which you are using in your Azure with Cloud Shell here. Moving down, if you want to see what are the storage regions supported by this Cloud Shell, so here it is. Cloud Shell machines exist in the following regions, and these are the following regions which you can use here in storage regions by using this Cloud Shell here. So area is Americas, and in America you can use regions like East US, South Central US, and West US. So in these 3 places you can use this storage, you can say this Cloud Shell, because these Cloud Shell machines exist on these region if you are in America. And if you are in Europe, so you can use North Europe, you can be in North Europe or West Europe. In these locations you can use Cloud Shell machines. And then in Asia you can use India, if you are in India Central, you can use there, and if you are in Southeast Asia, in Southeast Asia countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, so you can use there as well, which comes in Asia Pacific. So these are the countries here, and these are the supported storage regions where you can use Cloud Shell machines. And here these are some regions which you can just be here, and then you can use these Cloud Shell machines. But if you're not in these areas, so you cannot use Cloud Shell machines, you can just use VPN and then you can use it, but it's up to you for that. And if you want to just use storage in, you can say if you want to store anything in your Azure Cloud Shell or want to use your storage account in Azure Cloud Shell, how you can use it. If we look at our research groups, we have a research group called Cloud Shell Storage Best Test. So this is a research group name which is called as Cloud Shell Storage Vestas, but there are some other research group as well, but this is the most commonly search group which we normally get. You can just see in this diagram, in resource group we are getting at first Cloud Shell Storage Vestas, as I have told you here, and this is the most commonly used, you can say, a group which we use, a research group in Azure Cloud Shell. But you can also see there are some other groups as well, like Cosmos DB, March XP, then there is another group ASP, and then there are most other groups as well, like QS Service Bus. But I will prefer you to use this first resource group which is called as Cloud Shell Storage Vestas, where you can just store your things or anything like that, or you can also say it as West US if you are in West US. So I will prefer you to use this Cloud Shell Storage West US, but in example I am just showing you how you can use it. So just for example, consider you have choose this Cloud Shell Storage West US, and when you have chosen it, so in here you will see the storage account that you have created for us. Now if we were supposed to invoke the Cloud Shell, let's run an ls command. We will see that we have a Cloud Drive folder that's already mounted for us. If you want to see the storage account which you have created was getting the command that your storage account is not mounted, and if you want to make it mount, so for that you can just see the storage account which you have created, or which this cloud platform is being created for you. After creating that storage account, you were supposed to invoke that with Cloud Shell, means just combine that with Cloud Shell, and you have to run ls command for that. After running ls command, you will see that you will have a Cloud Drive folder, and that Cloud Drive folder will be already mounted, and that's the way how you can get your storage account mounted easily, by creating a Cloud Drive folder which will be created by this Cloud Shell when you will be running the command as ls. Now this is the way how you can run that command. You can just see how we are running in this command prompt, or you can also say it as a you can say a Cloud Shell, because normally when we work with Microsoft Azure and if we need to use anything like command prompt, so for that we use Azure Cloud Shell, and this is Azure Cloud Shell here. So now if we go into that Cloud Drive directory, we will see that we also have another folder called the Cloud Console. So let's go into that, and inside of here we have a file called ACC Sail Image. So this is the file which you will be getting when you will be moving on to your Cloud Console, because this is the file. Inside this file you will be getting your data mounted, your storage data which you will be storing. Like if I am creating a you can say a data science application, so I will be storing the data of that data science application in my ACC file, which is here, which is being created by this Azure Cloud Shell. After creating this file, you will be again getting these all things, like in this diagram you can see when you will be running this ls command, and then you will be getting the root, means directory where it is being saved, your Cloud Drive file, and then when it will be giving you this location, so you can also change the location of your folder if you want to change, and you can just move on to this ACC file. You can redirect to this file, and after redirecting to this file, you can just write the name of your application or the data which you have stored in it. So you will be getting the data mounted which you have stored in your storage account, and that's the way how you can use it with Azure PowerShell, or you can say it as a Azure Shell as well, because normally we called this as a Azure PowerShell, but many people called it as a Azure Cloud Shell because we use Microsoft Azure as a cloud platform. So obviously if we are using any PowerShell like thing, so it will be also called as a Cloud Shell at the top. So that's the way, that's the reason why we just say this PowerShell as a Azure Cloud Shell here. So this is the file that's actually backing the Azure Cloud Shell, and it is been backing because it can persist any of the information you might need it. Like if you need any type of information, if you want to persist any type of information, so for that as well you can use this Azure Cloud Shell, and you can just write the names of your files, means your cloud drive file, the folder where you have saved your ACC file, and then moving on to the ACC file, you can just see the data which you have mounted is being saved there or not. If not, so you can again do same process by adding ls command and all that, and then you can again check if it is done. So yeah, that will be done, and then you can use this Azure PowerShell for these things to store your data, to store your applications and that all. And that's the way how we use normally this Azure Cloud Shell when we need to use it with a storage account. So that's the way how you can use Microsoft Azure Cloud Shell with a storage account when we are working with a cloud platform. But there are some other ways as well which you can use Azure Cloud Shell with, like if you want to use it with any programming language, if you want to use it with any other cloud platform like AWS, Google Cloud, so you can use with that as well. But that will be a different process, or you can say that will be a different method. So I will be not moving on that method. We need to just stick on the same method of Microsoft Azure, so that it will be easy for you as well moving forward if you are working professionally with your own Microsoft Azure account. So you should not have any confusion like I was having at start. So I hope you have enjoyed this amazing video and you have understood that how we can use a storage account in Azure Cloud Shell. So if you have understand this amazing video and if you enjoy this tutorial, so remember to hit a like, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like this, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing, hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my videos which I will be uploading in future. So just I will be meeting you next tutorial or in next Microsoft Azure video. So for today, goodbye.